So it's on? Okay.
No, it's off. Oh, you mean your brain? Okay.
Okay, so hello everyone. We're gonna start maybe. We wanted to wait a bit that everyone comes in, but I think that we have some competition today for the for some big announcements from Bubble. So thanks for being here. Don't go, please. Stay around. So yeah, my name is Julien Toulouse, and I work for the promotion and economic development agency Invest in Toulouse. My main mission is to promote the Toulouse tech ecosystem abroad and in other ecosystems, and to try to bring new companies to establish and get in touch with new partners and develop synergies with the Toulouse tech ecosystem. So, and I'm here with three nice founders from Toulouse as well. So let you guys introduce yourself and say maybe 2-3 words about your companies.
Okay, I have a 40-minute presentation ready. I am Martin, so I'm the co-founder of Munity. Munity is an integration platform, NoCode, and full NoCode. So basically, we create embedded integration within any product, and we are working on many destinations. We have 300 connectors, and you can put it in many destinations like Xano or Bubble or others, or use it just in API and stuff. So basically, you can just keep in mind that we create user-facing integration into product. So they don't need Zapier or Make anymore. That's the idea. Yeah, thank you.
Mark?
So hi, I'm Mark, founder of Tilin. So we help SMBs, retailers in the fashion industry to implement their vision of their business with our all-in-one POS software, with integrated automation and also a native connectivity to their e-commerce platforms. And we are both no-code users, as we use Bubble and Xano and other tools. And we also no-code providers with our tool for the retail industry.
My name is Said Sisse. I'm founder, president of Smart Connect, IoT. We're in the IoT space at the edge. IoT, Internet of Things.
Keep the mic close to your mic.
All right. So we're IoT, Internet of Things. We also call integration of things. We make integration happen at the edge. Call it edge compute. Operating system at the edge, so you can connect all kinds of sensors, hardware, equipment, and then stream the data to where you want it. All this happens seamlessly, and we've done this over and over, and means you can have access to your data from the edge, wherever you are, whenever you want it.
Okay, great. So thanks a lot. We're going to talk about innovation and how no-code solutions can speed up innovation. But first, as you're coming from very different sectors and industries, then I'd like you to enhance a bit what kind of challenges you have in your sectors. What are the how do you tackle innovation basically in your different verticals?
Want me to start? Okay. Well, yeah, with Munity, we're helping product builders or tech teams face an important and growing problem, which is that we said software is eating the world, and actually it's softwares are eating the world. And saying softwares means that you have hundreds, thousands of data sources coming from many different softwares. And today, when you're building something, which can be internal, can be an app for end users or B2C or whatever, you will, 90% chance you will need data stored in another tool to get some value out of your app. And this creates silos. It's no mystery. Everybody knows data silos, and it's hard to sync data, especially when you don't own it. And sometimes, even in enterprise, they don't own data in another department. So cross-functional teams, they also face this problem. That's why Airtable grew so much, because it's easy to sync different data from different silos. And it's okay because it's flat data, but sometimes it's data behind credentials. Because I have a Salesforce account, maybe my marketing team is working on HubSpot. So how do I create a bridge if I don't have an IT guy who's working on an API and so on? So that's why Zapier grew, Make, and all. And today, you're always facing existing app ecosystem. So NoCode has a real place to go tackle this. And this is why we got this approach saying, anyone should be able to build an app if he's got a great business idea, but no one should have to tackle the unifying process, normalization process of data, and the synchronization rhythm you have to set, and security behind tokens and credentials. And this is our approach, because we knew I used to be a startup studio manager where we helped a lot of startups, and I already created another startup where it was a problem to access end users' data or populate end users' tools. So yeah, it was to us obvious to try to tackle this technical problem with a really non-technical approach. And well, that's why.
Yeah, and I'll add up to what Martin said with technical issues. So our approach, the approach I'm going to tell you about here is me as a no-code user. So we have a small team, no senior developers, and so our goal was to go fast and have a reliable product. And so we used NoCode for, at the beginning, the conception of the product. We used Figma, and every week we would go and see retailers to have feedback on our POC, proof of concept. And then we started developing on a Bubble to go faster for the front end, and Xano for the back end. And a few months ago, we faced challenges to implement native applications to connect, Shopify or PrestaShop, WooCommerce, this kind of softwares. So we did it for a few softwares, but it's always the same work to do, the same development to do, and we face technical issues, like Martin said, where we need to unify all the data coming from everywhere, different places, and so we are starting to use Unity on a use case where we have several e-commerce platforms to synchronize data to one of our customers that have also several stores around France.
And you then, it's more the industrial side of the thing. So how do you tackle it? And
in the word of capturing data from the edge and making it available, making sense out of it. So a company says, want to do predictive maintenance, or want to manage our assets on the factory floor. In a building like this, you cannot connect to all the sensors here. So we provide an appliance that it can deploy in this building, captures all the data, and stream it to wherever you want it. And then you can apply business rules, business intelligence, as you see fit, basically. And this we do so people don't have to write code. The whole thing started from, I was running a lab, and I had to integrate a lot of data from different equipment, different hardware, different sensors, and it was really crazy. It cost a lot of money. And after that, we went to write code and make this available to people, to industry as a solution, wherein we can capture the data securely, aggregate it, and make it available for further business processes.
So basically, you say it's giving back the power to the people that have the expertise on their own daily life, and then simplifying their daily job thanks to your solutions.
Yeah, because but yeah, for example, for me, so it took me a few months to build my connectors. And with Unity now, I can do it in a few days or even less for some. So it's quite, it's like a game changer for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's the idea that people will need to sync out many common tools or sometimes equipment. I guess you have the same brands of stuff that you could be ready for. And also there's a legacy issue. Like people have been building things for 30 years and you have sometimes legacy database, flat files. I don't know, everything is a data. I mean, especially on your case side, I guess, you have water, you have temperature, you have many things. We have a case with a big industrial, I won't say the name, but they have big silos on their assets, like Caterpillar engines. They have, everything is connected, but it doesn't speak to one another. So it's like, okay, I got one truck and maybe 7 different captors with different data and data range and schemes. And how do I tackle that? And when we started thinking that we could be helping team better manage their business or control their data or whatever, we knew we had to let a door where they could create their own connectors, their own data source. It's not only about saying, oh, I have the great connectors for CRMs or HRIS or whatever. It's about giving the possibility, and we're trying to, it's very hard to crack that, but we did it with open source solution and many different things, but to say, as a user, create your own source. And as you do it with your equipment, I guess, saying, here come your suitcase of captors. But we're doing this on the software side, saying, on Unity, say which is the source. Is it an URL, a database, or something? And we can be synced to this one, and you can normalize it with something else. And breaking these silos, building a simple portal where people will gather data is really key, in fact. Data, it's not that data is a new gold. It's like, do you have your data? Do you know where it is?
How do you manage it?
Yeah, how do you manage it?
Basically.
But you talk about, I bring it down to the domestic environment. In your house, the refrigerator is a different company. The washing machine is a different company. Your lawnmower. So now you have half a dozen different apps, to run the lawnmower, the heating, the refrigerator. They're all different apps. These are all different sources of data that you don't have access to. Extend that to an industry place, a building like this. Everything here, they are from different companies. And then so when you talk to the big companies, they're not going to remove everything just to adapt to one company bringing the data in. You need to capture those data, securely aggregate them, and make them available so the owner of this building can manage their power, their energy usage, the security, the quality of the environment, air quality, and this applies to, when you say buildings, whether it's a factory floor, building, and all of that. But if you go to engines, like Martin was saying, you have, one of the projects we did was with IBM, where they have the cloud space, the analytics for predictive maintenance, but they could not get the data from the engines, like the buses, or Caterpillar engine. So we were able to smart connect all the engines from different buses and make that data available for them in the cloud. And before we got there, they were getting probably about 6 data points. Every time the bus came to gas up, they will get 6 data points. And if they didn't come quick enough, it gets overwritten. So they have minimum, maximum. The next step when we implemented was the data was streamed every 5-10 minutes, and they can tell actually before the buses got sick. And when I say got sick, imagine your car, now you have it says the diagnostic light is on, right? So something is not right with the car. So if you had hundreds of vehicles, you don't want to get there. You want to know before that light comes on. That's predictive maintenance. So you get an idea that this truck might not make it from Toulouse to Montpellier. We have to service it in Narbonne. Or no, we service this here before it goes out, basically.
Okay, so maybe let's become a little more concrete. So the subject is how your solution can speed up innovation. So do you have concrete example of successful integration and how your tool certainly in the mix of other tools then changed the game and really enhanced innovation processes and speed of innovation towards a successful project.
Yeah, I can talk about and make some advertising for great solutions that are my customers. Let's take Jeudi Merci. Maybe you know or will know that company. It's basically a fidelization platform where you can gift your customers automatically based on numbers. Like if they order so much, this much, I'm going to send them this kind of package as a gift, and you automatize this kind of flow of gifting. And it's a great platform. And well, basically, I reached out to them at the beginning of Munity and I said, "Oh, I see what you're doing, and I guess you need a CRM synchronization from your end users if you want to know what kind of people need gift." So it was very interesting because he said, "Yeah, of course, that's true. We need this, but actually, we also use our company to." Engage employee in big enterprise, because you can also send gift for Christmas or if it's my birthday as an employee in a company. And if you have 10,000 people, you need to sync to a HIRS system. So we need to sync CRM for the e-commerce or the retailers or whatever, and HIRS. And was like, so yeah, if you can do these, I'm interested. And I was like, you know what, we can do these, but you can normalize the data models you're going to use, because you don't care if it's a lead or an employee in your soft, you just need a user or a gifter or whatever. And so Munity was able to adapt not the connectors he needed, but also to the model he used. And what he had planned to do in 12 to 18 months, he did it in less than 2 months after testing. So basically it was really, and it changed. I was pretty frustrated at first because he said to me, I was really, we could showcase him like, okay, what you need to do is this on Munity, this and that, and it's done. Basically, if we have you put your data models and it's done, so you can test it. And he was like, yeah, but I can't do it right now. I was like, why? Because our product's not ready. I mean, I need the font, I need to rethink the experience, I need to market this, and I was very frustrated at first. But we're going ahead of his own marketing. It was so fast. It was changing the way he built the product. So, so we waited a little more than we thought, but it's now up and running. So we're happy. And but it's this idea that it was going so fast instead of what should have been done that we really accelerated and changed the way the team worked on the product.
It was not a technical problem,
No.
but more a marketing problem.
Yeah, and more, yeah, and product building and user experience. But yeah, it's
interesting.
For us, about our customers in the retail industry, it's more like harmonizing the digital activity and the physical or in-store activity, where, for example, I have a merchant in Toulouse that has two stores and has also two other e-commerce platforms, and so he didn't have software that would connect both of his stores and his e-commerce platforms, and so he would repeat the same action for both platforms, as integrating his products for his in-store software, which is quite an old software as well, which is not easy to navigate in. Versus he used Shopify, which is quite have a nice interface, user interface, but he will also put his products information in that software as well. So, so we came here with Tilin to automatically propagate your products from your in-store software to your digital software, so you don't need to do the same operation twice. So we simplify also, the everyday operations in the in-store and also on the digital side. And we also set up also other automations like being able to match the bill from your supplier, which you ordered your products, and also what you received physically in the store. So if there's a misfit between both of that. Otherwise, I wouldn't know if they received the good amount or not, or
And do you have an idea of the time you're saving them on monthly basis or something with all these features?
Yeah, so with these features, we are saving like 1 day a week usefulness
Of
operations. Like,
That's huge.
yeah, and there's also another example where so the merchant would every night go on his digital e-commerce platform to reduce the stock manually from the sales that he did on the day in store, and so he would put an hour of his time every day to do that. So now we automate this kind of operation, and yeah, now he lives at night. He does activities now at night, so he really
Can sleep now.
yeah.
And so how do you think you think the physical store too? The data from the physical store, or only e-commerce and logistics?
What do you mean?
I mean, so you have to integrate with the like every stock he has, which is it can be online, it can be in store.
Yeah, so this guy has a unified stock,
Okay.
where the online stock that he has is actually the stock that he has in store, and so yeah.
So it's automatically updated whether the clients come and orders online or buys directly in the shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
I would just say, integrators have told us that one integrator, their solution was 9 times less expensive, and the whole project went 6 times quicker. So that's huge. 1, 2. We did, like for SAP, we did a minimum viable product for them in 4 weeks, and they were not ready. So we came back to show them and say, it's not possible. It takes 8 months to get this kind of stuff done. So 8 months to 1 month, okay? But, and again, we have deployed 4 to 6 weeks, quickly capture the data on a lot of projects. But 1 or 2 examples, the first responders, emergency response people, they protect us. We don't know what they do most of the time, but we take some of this stuff for granted. But they wanted to capture the air quality and also have video evidence. They hired 2 software engineers to integrate their air quality sensors with the cameras. 6, 8 months later, the project was going nowhere. And somebody ran into the chief, the neighbor at a supermarket checkout, and he was saying, this stuff is not happening. And then he says, talk to Smart Connect, So we came in over the weekend. We were able to do the integration for them. He put us in touch with the sensor suppliers. And again, 4 to 6 weeks, they had a model product ready to run with. But the one interesting one I'd like to share is about where do you place the ice cream box in the supermarket? We take some of this stuff for granted. So it was with Whole Foods, right? So when you walk on the corridor in the supermarket, the ice cream box can be facing you, or it could be on your side when you walk, right? So they made 2 trials. One is ahead of you, and they put like sensors on the floor, so they can test if somebody stopped over there. Did they open the box? Did they buy? 3 data points right there, okay? Something like that you take for granted, but it takes time to put together. And then when you walk down, the ice cream box is on your side. Did they stop, open the box? Second data point, did they buy? So if those 3 means that, okay, they stop on board, and then if the frequency is higher when the ice cream box is facing them, then the best place to put the ice cream box in the supermarket is facing people.
Straight away. Yeah.
So that kind of innovative scenarios for various industries. It's just we facilitate and make happen very quickly, basically, cost effectively also.
Yeah, so I'll add a bit other on that. Like you said, it took you a few weeks to build something that would have, you would have spent a few months if you did it in code. And so I have also a feedback on that, which we were able to develop our platform, viable platform, in 6 months, and we saw that with our competitors, they would develop that in 18 or 24 months. So it's like we've gained, three times. We went 3 times, nearly 4 times faster than them on that. So to our go-to-market, it's quite a good advantage, a good benefit.
I think it's the main idea. That, it's interesting that everything becomes more composable. So there's a risk because if you compose, you divide. But also, if you're really smart, when all these solutions behind you, like both software, Xano, Basero, and all, everything, everybody here, they try to open to each other and talk to each other. And this is the idea that this is modern software. Like I think SAP for the first time last year went backwards in number of updates and features. They said, okay, we don't need more features. We need to be able to integrate more with what exists because we're going nowhere if we're building everything in the same block. And this idea of composable architecture helps makers and builders build more apps, and we're helping them too. But also internally, I think this concept of cross-functional teams using different tools depending on what they need. I mean, it was fun back in 2000 when Salesforce says, we're going to be the enterprise business, whatever, cloud engine, because they didn't even say SaaS at the time. But actually, Salesforce may be great for sales lead and HubSpot for marketing leads and having different teams using different softwares. And this having other tools using these integration at the right place, whether for Google Analytics engine for whatever, MailChimp, or, you have a tool for something, and these tools should be connected. And integration is really about this kind of creativity, like business creativity in our case, but I mean, we could even extend the conversation to generative AI. I mean, this is trend today. It's a trend. It's powerful. Everybody's using ChatGPT. And everybody's saying it's going to change the way we work. Okay, so it's going to change the way you work. But where is your proprietary data? Do you have access to it? Can you crunch it with AI? Can you sync your Salesforce to ChatGPT? Do you know how to do it? Can you do it without developers? And this kind of facilitation of legacy data or even standard data from main tools. This is about composing, really composing. And I think NoCode there's a philosophy in NoCode that you can compose. You can compose Airtable is your back office in software, your front, and sometimes you can use Xano or something else. And
it also allows a redundancy on the solutions because, so I'm using Bubble at the front end, but I'm also using Flutterflow for the mobile app. So if, Bubble is down, which can happen every now and then, or just a very few times a year.
This is a moment to say that because they're here.
Sorry, Bubble. But the vendors in the store can still sell the products with their mobile application. So all the application is not down; it's just one part of it. So. I like this approach of composing with different no-code tools,
and not reinventing the wheel.
And not reinventing the wheel, yeah. But then, if it's so simple, so easy, and that it speeds up, I mean, we all see only benefits. So, but here, I mean, we still can see that it's still a small community of people. I mean, you guys always tell, okay, all the big CEOs of the very successful companies, they are super reachable, etc. So it's still a small community. So how come then not everybody use it out there?
I can usually.
Well, let me give a paradigm here. You can go to a broker marché, right, and buy all the equipment and come and do it yourself. You can go to IKEA and get a box, and presto, you have the living room furniture all up and ready, right? You just connect them, screw them together, But you find out that there's not that many type of IKEAs, right? There's more in people want to do custom work. It takes longer, it's more expensive. So it's coming along. There's a change in the thought process of not having to reinvent the wheel. You hire 2 software engineers, 8 months later, the project is going nowhere when you can pick up tools that they can use and a few months later you have a solution up and running, basically.
And I think this is it. We are just building solution to help people create, and it means change, means risk. So, for example, we're working with a lot of early stage companies, which is a risk for us because they can really not find their business on the market. But it's also why we do it, because this kind of creativity that you can help with integration is pretty interesting to see the change at play. And to see people, I mean, we don't have him today, but even in big companies, that are trying to bring change to the way IT worked. Like, should I ask for somebody to use this tool, or can I do it myself? And what is risk and reward? Like, if I build a workflow on myself, crunching this kind of data, okay, I don't know where it's really stored, but I'm going to take the chance because I want to show that we can build it. And so I think change in the way people approach IT, it's a nightmare for a CIO because
and
it's
you don't
shadow
want
IT.
to change because everyone's used to that tool.
Yeah, there's one tool. There's an official tool. Stop building things on something else, or using Trello for our project, because we have something in our enterprise resource planning. So don't use Trello. Well, sorry, but Trello is really useful. And so this change is hard, and it's hard to compose, and it's hard to share the ownership of, yes, our data is important. So at least if you're using a tool, sync it with ours or with our data lake or data warehouse or whatever. And so there are a lot of things implied for big companies. When you're early, you don't care. I mean, so it's a proof of concept, it's a beta, alpha, beta, and first version and other, and you get better at things like that, compliance. But in enterprise, it's pretty game changer and risky, because, well, you have a 30 years old software that is running, is completely legacy, and you have people trying to push forward. They need tools, but you also need to check that tools. You need to check how can we integrate this. So, well, there are a lot of questions. It's not easy. It's not easy to change, sadly, but it's coming.
When you talk about when it's custom work, you do it in-house, it's more expensive to be maintained. Is there a future roadmap for it? The employees leave or new employees come on board. Yeah. If you have a tool, I give you an example. We had a client that went for a tender, and he said, I want to talk to you guys. I said, so these guys are selling me a bicycle for the price of a Rolls Royce. You guys are selling me a Rolls Royce for the price of a bicycle. What's going on here? We say, we have software
That's
tools.
A nice comparison, yeah.
Yeah, we have software tools, and we can sell it to many people. They are selling you man hours. They're going to develop it for you, so they charge for the seat, for how many hours it's going to take these guys, and when it's going to happen, how it's going to end up, it's all out there, And it was very easy for him to make a decision to use existing tool to plug it in, and we'll go ahead with their project.
It's the idea of standardization of protocols is very important, because that's the idea. I mean, and you have some backlash about that, because you end up, enterprise can end up in a situation where, okay, we used this great solution called Salesforce or Talent if you need, ETL job. Yeah, I mean, we're into ETL too, but not on Talent, because it's very, it's more closed box and black box. So this enterprise end up saying, okay, this is great, this does the job that I need, but I need custom work, so I will look for Salesforce developer. Like, exactly, just pushing the triggers somewhere else. Like, okay, I need Salesforce developer, and then Talent developer, and then you get it in-house, or consultancy. And this is, I think it's just some kind of evolution, that it was great, it was almost plug and play, but you have so much customization, it's so tricky, and it talks with real database in SQL or Postgres or whatever. And it's kind of still a bit complicated. And then you can compact this complexity in maybe more black box, but still, it's just workflows. And you can have a wiki and say, oh, okay, I do it. Or I can really customize it. Or I can just put the URL of my database and it's okay, or the credentials. And I don't have to deal with it. I can have a UI on a database. This kind of stuff, it's coming. And hopefully, it's less costly to go into real change and real new software adoption or new services or new features. But it's just an evolution, like I don't know, AI, or it's just you compact things in your car. Sometimes
people that just have to get used to it.
Yeah.
And maybe a small advertisement page for me, but you guys are all from the same ecosystem. I mean, from background, IoT Valley is like you set up the company there. So what kind of synergies you found there, and what does the local ecosystem bring you, and to what extent it helps you to grow and to develop? Then.
So yeah, for me, the IoT ecosystem was really good in the sense that you can share a lot with experienced entrepreneurs over there, because they have more than 40 or 50 startups over there. And so they also help you, on a business level, on a technical level, and it helps also. You have a kind of a dynamic in those ecosystems, and today we are also doing some events around NoCode and how we can help each other with NoCode and with the experiences we all have with those kind of tools. So yeah.
Okay. To me, it's Toulouse was. I had been working in Paris with my first startups, and where I was still an employee. I was in Paris, and then I built the first startups in Paris. And I was, at the time in the ecosystem, like the family and stuff. And it was the beginning of what was a startup, and I was learning this thing. And I thought, well, it was crazy. It was living, and there was a lot of competition. But then, actually, Toulouse became a choice of. It's sad to choose a city for the business with your family. As a family man now, and I chose Toulouse because I knew there were things happening. I knew I remember the first Vivatech. My neighbor, the neighbor of the booth, at my startup, and there was Inventa, which is still in Toulouse. For in France, they are from San Francisco, but the headquarters is in Toulouse. And they were just there, and I was like. I was so sick of being in Paris. I love Paris, but I've been there for like 12 years, and I was like, can I have a kid in Paris? And they were there. I was like, so I didn't know Toulouse at all. And I was like, so how is it? And they were like, I don't know, it's cool. We see trees from the office. I was like, what? Really? And on just to talk with my wife, and we said, let's move, and let's try. So really for now 5-6 years we've been there. And it was only good surprise on good surprises. I would just say that because it was a choice, because the quality of life is great. It's really amazing. I've never seen that in another city. So just for that, it's great. And for business, it keeps on growing. We have work to do on SaaS and software because we are a city based on hardware and Airbus and this kind of engineering, which is great.
Maybe innovation adoptions. People are keen on innovation, definitely.
Yeah, of course. And this is a drive that we're building. And here you can really reach out to one of the great lead developers at Base Road. They're in Toulouse. The founder of Xano lived in Toulouse for 6 months. What are the chances? But I think there's something to build, and still building, and it's great. It's a great place to be.
But for Smart Connect, we are based in Silicon Valley, and I came to France to help family with COVID, post-COVID. We got all our injections in the States so we can travel, and they were just getting started in Europe and that. So we really found out that it was good environment. The regulations had changed. It was different from what we heard. And if we went back, we're going to move to Austin, Texas, or Miami, because in the valley it has just been really crowded, crazy, and no room to breathe. Everything is Facebook or Google, or to get from A to
you have
B.
To compete with salaries.
You can hire engineers. They're too expensive, and getting from A to B. And there was no really one ecosystem, so it was really good to be coming over to Europe with the partners in the States. We were like, how about Ireland, it's English speaking. So anyway, I said, no, France. And we started looking in France. We looked Paris, all the places, and took the southern part of France, ended up down we Grenoble, Montpellier, Toulouse, and we looked at everything as Toulouse had the ecosystem. I could drive by. When I went to La Beige, I felt the buzz, of many incubators and startup environment, and then went to IoT Valley, ran into the types of.
I remember when you visited
Martin.
Martin.
I pitched the first version.
Yeah, he gave me a demo. I go like, wow, this is a cool place to be. Just the environment. But
Well, you could just say you came here to Toulouse for the hot weather.
Well, no, for the southern part of France for the warm weather, yes. Mm-hmm. But then actually, we have looked at a house in Montpellier before coming to Toulouse.
No competition with the region.
Yeah, but so the ecosystem was just what really. But then the other aspect that people don't look at, there's technology, but there's the support services, okay? And this is one of the things that they have in Silicon Valley. The financial support services, the accounting teams who understand how to help you with your book so you can focus on what you're doing, or the legal support, And I found out that when I compared with like Lyon, Montpellier, and Toulouse had those in place to be readily utilized, and they were ready to support. They had the experience to work with startups, small teams, knowing that I'm going to have many clients. They all have similar needs. They're not big box companies, and hopefully they all grow and become big companies. And that whole ecosystem, the technology, the services they provide around that was just what got us into Toulouse, basically. Yeah, and the people are nice, Very nice, yeah.
Cool. So maybe if before wrapping up, maybe you can take some questions, if there are some.
Hi, thanks so much for your insight. I'm from the north of England, so I feel the pull away from the capital and trying to make people realize that there's actually technology and life outside of the capital. So I feel your pain. I also appreciate the bicycle for Rolls-Royce. We normally say you get a Ferrari for the price of a Fiat. So you can use that. You can use that. That's free. You can have that. I was interested in what you're doing at Smart Connect, and it's super awesome to say industrial IoT mixed with NoCode, because it's not something that I've seen before, because it seems like it's always something that's touted as being super complex, right? Particularly industrial IoT. And I wondered, I imagine, this is what I'm imagining, if it's a sort of a drag and drop kind of BI platform, that I'm seeing like different types of widgets like energy pull, etc. And I'm using that. But then I wondered, do you guys support with supplying the machine learning algorithms that are needed to create the predictive maintenance schedules, or are you using something like Munity so people can normalize that data and create their own machine learning algorithms to support the predictive maintenance?
Well, there's two parts to that question. The second part I'll take first. Yes, I always think about Martin. No, okay, not always, but he was one of the guys who really, when we talked at IoT Valley, I go like, okay, I can see the extension to our solution, right? Wherein we don't have to create this environment for clients in the cloud, so they can use like Munity solutions to create that for themselves, okay? But on the first part of the question, in terms of creating connectivity, so people are not going to rip out all their hardware and buy all new stuff because of some protocol, because they want to create a certain database, right? They're going to use their existing hardware. And ours is not about drag and drop, it's like configuration. So really, we're gold partner with Intel, and like Intel has what they call OpenVINO. It's like an AI engine for the edge, and they are talking to us to integrate it with our edge compute capability. And our software, if you look at it, is the Intel calls it the IoT OS. So you have Android, right? Android for smart devices, and then you can on the phone, you can connect to a camera, you can print, You just configure, put a printer name, and you can print to it, right? And the IoT space, it's a similar thing. You can click, okay, that's a diesel engine. I need these 30 data points from it, and then you can connect to that diesel engine and get those data points for you. The temperature sensors from his company, your company, it could be temperature sensor for water, for air, for surface, you know, and you all make different sensors. So, but then you can just configure and connect to those. They all have a commonality. They put out current or voltage. So you just click, just like connecting to a camera, really. Irrespective of the different cameras, they have, how do you call it? They provide pixels. So if there's that tool there that can read the pixels from the cameras, it doesn't matter which camera it is, you can connect to it and provide that image and make a video out of it, basically. So that's how simple it is. It's like over a browser, you can sit here, open your phone, connect to your factory in Northern England, and connect to, the electrician would have wired in the appliance, powered it on, right? So, but you can connect to it and then say, okay, when the conveyor belt starts or stops, send me a message, or run the conveyor belt from 8 a.m. to 12, 2 to 6 when people work, sort of thing, you know? So you can do all of that on a screen, basically, without having to write code. Yeah.
Maybe last question? No? It's all right. So let's wrap up. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks.
For your participation. And
Yep,
if you
thanks.
could connect the glass pins so that they don't get used during conferences would be great.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.